Okay, let's get stitching here. So we need to pick some thread, and you know what I find is the hardest part is picking the color because there's so many good ones. First, we need to learn a little bit about our thread, and this comes in 6 strands, as you can see. I'm just going to put that down here. And you can see how you can separate it. There are 6 little strands in here. How many strands do I use? Well, I'll tell you. It depends on where you're going on here, and we're going to do the lettering with a back stitch. Now, with all lettering, you either want to use 1 strand or 2 strands. Today we'll use 2 strands, and we use 1 or 2 strands on lettering because if you use more than that, it gets way too bulky and it just doesn't look right. So, how much thread do I use? Well, I'll tell you. A good rule of thumb is to take, can you see that there? We do take that, pull that out, put it between your thumb and your forefinger, and put it up to your elbow, and that's a good length right there. It's manageable and it doesn't knot on you or get tangled as easy. So we'll snip that off, and I'll show you how to separate. So we just want 2 strands here, so you go in there, and I've got 2 strands in my left hand and 4 strands in my right hand, and it'll just separate like this. And what's easiest if you have a friend, or just pull it down slowly. Don't go too fast, otherwise it will get tangled. Just slowly go down like that, and it should separate quite nicely. And if you do get a little bit of a, there we go. Okay, good. So we're just going to set that aside and thread our needle. Okay, so at the end, see how I threaded my needle? I left a little tail. In sewing a button or something, I'll usually pull it down and have the strands all together. But in embroidery, you want to have a little tail hanging out here, just like that. Okay, so what we want to do now is put a knot at the end of our thread. So we're going to go 1 and 2. And I like to do 2 because it gives you enough of a bump here. See, you can see the knot right there. It gives you enough of a bump that it's not going to pull through your fabric. Okay, let's start stitching. Now, what I want to do is teach you an away knot. What's an away knot? I'll tell you. I'm going to start here on my S at this part right here. So I'm going to go about 3 inches or so and pop my needle in on the top. So what you're going to have is a knot on top. See how it's away from my first stitch, hence the away knot. Okay, why do I do this? Well, because I used to start with a knot right there, and I just come right through and start like that. But I found that 99.99% of the time, I'd get my needle caught in that knot, and what a mess. So I realized that I can just do this, but don't worry, this knot won't stay there. We are going to get rid of that when we're done.